Cultural neurodiversity. Hello everyone, I'm Laura Gilmore and I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Alberta in Canada and an autistic self-advocate. I think everyone's been hearing the words autistic culture lately on the internet, and many are wondering how that can be useful to you or your family members. This presentation will explore this a bit, as well as looking at ways researchers can explore and understand this topic. What is cultural neurodiversity? Some of the traits autistics have, like rocking or other forms of stimming, talking intensely about particular topics, and other differences, may be perceived by some neurotypical people as odd. Some schools of thought think that teaching autistics to appear as normal as possible will make life easier for them as they will be targeted less. However, masking for years to appear as someone you're not is stressful. Pretending to be someone different all the time and establishing friendships or relationships based on a fake persona will not create authentic relationships. Many autistics prefer the terminology autistic, the person with autism, and see it as a component of their identity, much like country of origin. Comparison to newcomers. When people immigrate from another country, they often come with their own cultural traditions and language. Yes, they have to learn the language of the country they've arrived in, but they usually don't forget the language or traditions of their home country, and sometimes will meet up with others from their culture to celebrate the traditions of back home. For instance, in my city, they have a Chinese New Year parade every year, Ukrainian Christmas events, Eid celebrations for communities, and much more. Sometimes this leads to people of different cultures sharing and learning about different customs. This could also be useful for autistics on campus. Some rules are non-negotiable. Some family friends from a small European town told stories of New Year's Eves where everyone would set fireworks off in their yards and in the streets and said it was a huge part of New Year's in the specific country. This is not allowed in most cities in North America. Not enforcing this rule could have huge risks in areas where houses are close together or wooded areas. Similarly, if an autistic student exhibits behavior that is extremely disruptive, for instance a meltdown in a chemistry lab that results in strong lab apparatus, this makes campus unsafe for other students. There has to be this balance between the rights of autistic students, the rights of new immigrants, and the health and safety of everyone. Brain imaging, genetic testing, and functional MRIs can show how some autistic brains respond to different things. But when looking at human experience and culture, you need the bigger picture, and answers are less definite. Qualitative research collects data by various means of communicating with populations and then coding segments of data, for example, interview transcripts, for meaning to understand the process. Whereas quantitative research is more so a direct question of does A cause B or is A related to B. Sometimes this is used to build models in qualitative research that help explain social processes. The process is much muddier and often takes much longer than quantitative research, where the answers are much more definite and concrete. My current dissertation involves using a children's book I developed for the purpose of this project. The book uses a cultural neurodiversity perspective of autism and tells the story of a friendship of students with autism and new immigrant students from that lens. For example, both the girl with autism and one of the new immigrant children are uncomfortable with eye contact with adults for different reasons. In the case of the immigrant child, it is considered impolite to look superiors in the eye, while the autistic child finds it uncomfortable. My research question looks at the influence of this book on teachers and students in classroom settings and the impact on their existing attitudes and values towards differences. Data will be collected through interviews and drawings produced by students of scenes from the book with captions. This data will be used to develop a model that explains how this piece is interpreted in local schools. Implications on campus. Although my dissertation focuses on children in classrooms, the ideas of it could have implications across all school and work settings and within society. Instructors and peers all need to respect that everyone has different ways of learning and thinking. For instance, some individuals may focus better in a conversation when not making direct eye contact and prefer to focus on an object directly in front of them. There may be cultural reasons for this, or it may simply be comfort level. Some students may require more direct feedback to understand what is needed and won't understand hinting or implied meaning. Stimming may appear different, but is a functional self-regulatory behavior. Campus does not just give you a degree and employment prospects, but is also a chance to open your mind and challenge some of your ways of thinking. It's good to form friendships with students different from yourself and be open and respectful if they look or act different. and have different worldviews. On campus, you'll meet immigrants, LGBTQA students, students with different religious and political backgrounds. I hope, as you and your students enter the campus, that you enjoy yourself and enter with an open mind, and be open to learning life lessons as well as academic ones. Bye for now.